Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. I'm here at the Embassy of Finland, and joining me right now for a conversation is His Excellency Kimmo Lähdevirta. He is the Finland Ambassador to India. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for being with us, speaking to us, and talking about India-Finland relations. How has this relationship evolved vis-a-vis economic ties, vis-a-vis culture, diplomatic ties, as well as people-to-people connect, particularly in the last few years?
Well, I would just first start with political relations, which are excellent. Economic relations are also very good in the sense that our trade volume is about 3 billion euros altogether, counting both import and export of goods and services. And the trend is positive. We have about 100 Finnish companies actively doing business here in India, and we have about 20 Indian companies, for example, in manufacturing sector in Finland. And we do also have a diaspora of about 20,000 or so Indians in Finland, which has grown considerably in the last 20 years or so. So we do have very good connections. We have daily flights between Delhi and Helsinki, for example. And also we have a very good network here in India with our embassy, our consulate general in Mumbai, and then in our honorary consulates in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, in Bangalore, in Chennai and Kolkata. So I think the development of relations has been very positive indeed.
Talking about the recent visits that you have made in all these regions, talking about Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata, why is there a need to further expand the footprint of the Finland embassy, the consulates that have been set up?
Well, I think the biggest motivation is business. We want to support Finnish businesses when they come to India. And I think also the locations where we have honorary consulates, for example, shows perhaps to some degree at least where Finnish businesses have found most promising locations for themselves. But there are also other considerations always, and these are some of the, let's say, states where we have the most cooperation with.
Obviously, the biggest agenda between European Union and India at this point of time is the free trade agreement. Finland has been a proponent of it and has been strongly backing for the European Union and India to sign this FTA at the soonest possible. Why do you think there has been a sudden momentum that this initiative has taken in just the last few months?
Well, I think the geopolitical situation in the world has emphasized the need for predictability and reliable supply chains. And I do feel that Europe and India have a lot to offer for each other, for a mutually beneficial relationship. And that also is the same for Finland, that we see a lot of very good potential in India. And we really see it important that we can develop the relationship so that the business environment is predictable, tariff levels are lower than they have been, and that really the relationship between EU and Finland included can actually obtain its full potential. So that's why I think it's very, very important and very positive also that EU and India are now closing in the negotiations, hopefully by the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about the trade relation, economic ties between Finland and India, what is going to be the direct impact after the FTA is signed?
Well, of course, it will take some time before the agreement is in effect, because it needs to be ratified by both sides, and it will take some time. But I do feel that both bigger and smaller companies will have easier market access, for example, and that's very, very important. And as I mentioned, also let's say the predictability of business environments and regulations is very important aspect as well. Hopefully, also, for example, investment agreement is there, which again would be, I think, mutually beneficial.
It has also been in the talks. It has been very important. TEPA has been signed between EFTA nations and India. Is there any inclination for the Indo-Nordic Summit that has been a great initiative to come up with a similar trade agreement?
Well, I would say that the European Commission has unique its own competence regarding trade agreements between third countries. So for that reason, a similar agreement is not possible between India and the Nordic countries, as has been between the EFTA countries and India. So it's the EU that negotiates the deals for us. But on the other hand, the India-Nordic summit and environment and platform is also very important, because we do feel that we have complementarities that are useful for both sides. We have technologies, we have scale, and we have all kinds of things which are very, very interesting on both sides, related to information technology, sustainability, and so on.
Do you think the changing dynamics in global affairs, geopolitics, especially with regards to the tariff wars that have been waged under US President Donald Trump by America, have brought countries closer together, brought Europe and Global South closer?
Yeah, well, perhaps I could say that these geopolitical shifts have certainly underscored the fragility of supply chains and also the importance of trade diversification. So these developments really have created a need to strengthen partnerships based on reliability and shared values and resilient economies. So for Finland, we see India as a reliable partner here in Indo-Pacific region. And I think this context also has encouraged deeper engagement in building a secure and transparent and technology-driven supply chain between Europe and India.
There have been a lot of initiatives in strengthening the partnership between the two countries, talking about the DESI initiative, digitalization, education, sustainability, and innovation. Could you tell us more about it?
Yeah, well, this is something that we have developed to make it more understandable what kind of sectors we are working in. And if I start with D, meaning digitalization, we are strengthening our partnership in some let's say critical high-tech areas like 5G and 6G, quantum computing, artificial intelligence, and space. And if I continue to E, meaning education, I think sharing practices and partnering with Indian institutions, for example, in teacher training and vocational skills development is very important. And like I said, we have a diaspora of some 20,000 Indians in Finland, of which about 2,000 are students. So I think that shows also the interest and pull factors that Finland has. But then going forward in these letters, I would say that sustainability is a shared priority as well. And we are helping to create solutions, for example, in clean energy transition, sustainable urban mobility, as well as waste management. And one important event I want to mention already here is the World Circular Economy Forum, which will be hosted by India next year. So this is something that the Finnish Innovation Fund, Sitra, and the Indian Central Pollution Control Board are working together. But then moving on to the next letter I, meaning innovation, we are also linking, for example, our vibrant startup ecosystems and promoting cooperation. And this week actually was held one of the biggest startup events globally called Slush in Helsinki. And we had also Indian startups taking part of it. And in addition to these four letters, we nowadays also like to add a fifth one, which is M for mobility. And this is something that Finnish government has been working for quite some time already with India with their Talent Boost program here. But also I'm happy to say that we are now finalizing an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, on migration and mobility. And I think this will be a very good addition in this sector.
Very interesting, keeping in mind there have been these anti-immigration laws that have been imposed by certain countries, and several European countries, including, like you said, Finland and Germany, who are welcoming Indian technocrats with open arms. You spoke about the circular economy, and Finland is a global leader in this sector. How can Finland help India achieve its net zero emissions, carbon neutrality goals, and of course in the backdrop of COP30 that is taking place in Brazil at this time?
Well, I do feel that Finnish companies offer very good solutions, for example, in waste to value, advanced material recycling such as batteries and plastics, also sustainable forestry, energy efficiency and smart grids as well. And I think those are really areas that are directly linked with, for example, India's urban centers and industrial sectors. And that's why, as I mentioned, the World Circular Economy Forum is also a significant step in this sector, because this is something that Finland's Sitra has been working on already since 2017. And it is really the world's leading forum on circular economy. So I think it's important that we bring together the businesses, government, academia and civil society to consider the best practices in circular economy.
Talking about the United Nations reform and expansion of the UNSC, Finland has been advocating India's participation as a permanent member. How do you think this can become a reality?
Well, if I may start also by saying that we really are strongly committed to the United Nations. And we also stand for election as a non-permanent member for the Security Council for the term 2029 to 2030. But I do also feel very strongly that the composition of the United Nations still largely reflects the world of 1945. And as the world has changed drastically since then, I think that also the decision-making at the UN should reflect the new situation. And therefore also the number of permanent members in the Security Council should be increased. And for example, our President, Alexander Stubb, has said that it is wrong that countries like India are not included. And we do believe that these changes would be necessary in order to maintain the relevance and central role of the United Nations.
There are certain select countries, and in wake of this largely multipolar world, that seem to be, with their unilateral actions, compromising the multilateral organizations in multilateral community in the world. How can India and Finland join forces to stop this unilateralism?
Well, I think it's first of all important that both our nations are committed to rules-based multilateralism, which is anchored in the UN Charter. And we really do believe in multilateralism, and India's expanded role is essential here as well. So I would say that together we must ensure our positions so that we act as bridges for consensus and dialogue on issues that have, let's say, global significance, such as climate change and questions related to peace and security.
I do want to seek an answer from you with regards to the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Finland is an integral part of NATO and also shares a border with Russia. How can NATO allies come together to find a solution to end this war with Russia?
Well, I think it's very important that all solutions must be based on what Ukraine feels is acceptable. That's the starting point. And Finland, as part of the EU and NATO, will do its utmost to support Ukraine however we can. Everybody hopes that the war will come to an end as soon as possible. But I do feel that also the solution must be just and not rewarding aggressor. I think that's very important.
And of course, we're talking about India-Finland relations. Any prospects of the head of the government of Finland coming to India in the coming months?
Well, I think, our President Alexander Stubb has had already 2 phone calls with Prime Minister Modi this year. And I think it shows the interest on both directions. President has been very vocal on India's role, for example, in the world and significance. So I think both sides have expressed an interest in developing the ties further. And I think in the most recent phone call, Prime Minister Modi also extended an invitation for President Stubb to visit India. And of course, we are now working on finding a suitable time for that visit.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining me and speaking to us.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome. You're watching